Another season's journey is almost complete for the Washington, D.C. region SCCA Virtual Racing League. Welcome to Virginia International Raceway, another home track for this series and this league. And in the ninth and final installment of their points-paying rounds, we head to this fantastic 3.1-mile racetrack, 17 turns, all of them a challenge, high-speed, narrow, and multi-class racing. Those things don't always come together in such a beautiful way, but tonight, very, very excited for the Porsche 992 Cup cars and the touring cars to go back at it in a brawl in the Virginia red soil. Kyle Heyer joined by Connor Horn tonight for the last race of the season. We've got one more fun race next week, but no points on the line. Connor, welcome aboard on this relatively cool day here in Virginia. 79 degrees Fahrenheit on the racetrack and under 70 in the air. That is particularly cool.
Yeah, it's really cool for iRacing standards. You rarely see the track time during the day get below that 80-degree mark, but it should make for some intense and fast racing with the track being pretty much covered in clouds. Really, even around this huge track, it seems fully covered in clouds right now. As you can see in our live shot, really no sun peeking out, so we're going to see a lot of high grip action, especially through these S's. It should get pretty wild. You might see fenders being benders. We've seen a lot this season, but it's going to be a blast as we see our first driver come through here in the TCR class.
Yeah, there are a lot of cars here tonight, just under 40 entering this final race of the season. And of course, 30-minute race means that things are going to happen very, very quickly on this 3.17-mile racetrack. And we mentioned all the challenging corners, 17 of them, in fact. But I think you have to look at a couple key corners. Oak Tree, no longer bearing the tree that it's named after. And then the head up into Roller Coaster, that uphill and then downhill dive after one of the longest straightaways in North American road racing, leaving Oak Tree. Such important corners. The big challenges, though, Horseshoe, that first corner, always a tricky one. NASCAR bend into left hook. Plenty of places to get yourself into trouble here, Connor, around this racetrack, especially in only about 30 minutes time. The speed difference between the touring cars and the Porsches is going to be pretty exceptional as well. There is places where the downforce on the touring cars will be helpful, but the high speed, the top speed on the Porsches will let you get well over 160 miles an hour on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and if you catch someone in the S's, that's a pretty straight line as well through here. I mean, you can go side by side, but it's not going to work out. And when they meet, these two classes meet in this section of the track, it's going to spell chaos, and we're going to see drivers in the grass left and right. That's going to be, I would think, my trouble spot as far as multi-class racing goes, and also in the corner after the long straightaway in the roller coaster should be pretty exciting as we got our first Porsche action on track, at least the first we've seen. It's Franz Hansen, who had a pretty solid run last week. I think he got about second in a crazy race at Lime Rock, and not seeing a time in for him quite yet, but he'll get one in eventually.
Those that already have times on the board, how about Morgan Burkhardt up on top by 72 thousandths of a second over DJ Alessandrini, who runs in second, and it's Ken Howe-Seal. This time he's locked up the Touring Car Championship, so he's jumped on over to the Porsches this week just to have a little fun in the higher-powered machinery. Ryan Maloney up into fourth place, Jake King just behind. And then in the Touring Car category, how about Sean Fritz in the illegitimate racing Honda Civic? That's a new name up towards the top of the board. Trent McMillan, Francois Brou. What a shakeup in touring cars so far.
Yeah, Carwell and Kobach are usually fourth and fifth, and they've stayed fourth and fifth, but not really seeing those front runners that would usually see up there. They're not really here tonight, actually. There's really none of those normal guys that we see. I think you said we had Howe-Seal switch over to the Porsche class. I don't see Michael Montello in here. I don't see Elias Roman in here. Usually those are our guys that we see fighting for the podium, but we're going to have a shakeup in that class tonight as Murphy Nichols went fastest by about half a second in that class.
I was just about to say, how about Murphy Nichols, the only driver in the Hyundai Veloster N TCR, which is this car is different pretty significantly from the Elantra, but Murphy swears by it. He's run it all season long and takes it to the top, as Alessandrini does the same in the Porsche 911 Cup category in that number 61 Lizard Brains Racing Porsche. The yellow, pink, and blue colors, quite a striking livery on this car, but perhaps a suspected provisional pole sitter in the Porsches and an unsuspected one in the touring car category, but plenty of drivers left to go in both of those categories. How about Callan Crocker in the 35, yet to put down a time, same with Giancarlo Schooler, and Anthony Montello is back in the Lazy Rocket Honda this week.
Yeah, maybe it's a little Montello. We'll see here, that Lazy Rocket Honda. Just trying to get down this straightaway, trying to see what lap. I'm trying to see what lap he's on. He's going onto his last lap here.
Yep.
Let's see, this lap counts, minute 58.4. That's going to put him about 4th, which is a solid lap. You'll have one more, try to improve. You don't want to go too deep into this corner, but it's pretty easy to do so. You need to keep it somewhat tight to get the best run possible before you get the NASCAR bend, which is a really tight braking zone. I think for the Porsches, I think it'll be a little easier for the TCRs, but still a little bit tough. Really, it's almost a blind corner. You almost don't know where to brake and where to turn in, and it looks like he's going to give up on this lap very early.
Yeah, Lex Kiricek heading down the hill through the last section of the racetrack. The run down through Hog Pen is such a thrilling sequence of corners, and it leaves you with a nice run onto the front straightaway here. Lex Kiricek has yet to put down a time that counts. Let's see what it is for him this time through it at 1:59.107. That one will count, puts him 10th. Morgan Burkhardt just 2 thousandths behind Alessandrini at the top of the board in the Porsche Cup category. Here's Jack Chrissy in the number 22, one of the only Porsches that has yet to put a time on the board.
And Burkhardt did not get another time in, so he's going to sit at least 2 1,000ths of a second behind Alessandrini as his qualifying ends for him. As we're going to take a look at a few more drivers for sure. Trying to see who this is. Jack Chrissy, who's also not put a time. What I've seen, I don't think he's put a time down yet either, and he's had 2 cracks at it. He's got to get something on the board.
Yeah, on his 3rd lap, that's kind of been a common denominator for some of those drivers that spent a long time in the session getting off tracks in a couple of places. The challenge of VIR is such that it's a real classic North American road racing circuit with all the undulations and the narrowness and speed that comes with it, but there's no paved runoff effectively anywhere. Maybe you could argue get a little bit into left hook, you see there on driver's right, or even leaving Oak Tree, but pretty much everywhere else, if you get off course here, Connor, it's a grassy slope and it leads you downhill into tire bundles around the entire racetrack. You can have a nasty off here, so keeping all 4 tires on the black stuff is critical tonight, and that is going to be especially challenging in multi-class traffic. I did a league race here about 6 or 7 months ago in LMP2 versus a group of GT3s. Sometimes when you catch traffic on this downhill run, it is just excruciatingly painful. You have to sit behind. There's just nowhere to go.
It's going to be even more painful because the grass doesn't just speed you up anymore. It kind of slows you down if you get off-road, so you're not going to be able to cut a corner and come out all right. You're probably going to lose a decent amount of time just trying to get back on the pavement as Chrissy goes 5th across the line. He'll just end his run there with that run, about half a second off our pole sitter, but like I said, still 5th. But yeah, that grass is going to be crazy tonight, and that run in the roller coaster is going to be especially crazy because too wide through there, you cannot make contact. Like you said, there's a tire bundle right at the end of that straightaway. You can't cut. If you're side by side and you get shoved off, you don't have an exit strategy if your driver's right and gets shoved off. There's a big tire bundle waiting for you.
Look at Darian Taggart's machine. Great looking livery on this number 19 tonight. Got the tag logos on the nose. Let's see if he's the best keeper of time here in the qualifying session. I think he's already run about all the laps he can run.
This is his final lap.
Oh, you're right. So he's up in the green on this one. This would put him right up near the top if he could flow this speed for the rest of the sector. But I really find this last sector one of the trickiest in North American racing. You have to just get so aggressive on the curb here on the left and on the right.
Flow fly over it.
Yeah, and then right back up to speed. Should be a decent lap. Let's see what happens for Taggart here as he comes down the straightaway. Kinks to the right here right before the start-finish line.
Yeah, got to get right close to that. Gain any time possible. 147.5. That will move him up 2 positions or so. Puts him 8th on the board, so he'll be one of our last to even put a time down. There's not many others on track. Franz Hansen is still on track. He's one of our Porsche classes. He's actually coming through the final section, which getting out of that, the first corner after that long straightaway, you really have to nail it. If you go too far wide, it really just ruins your flow. And this is the part of the track where another part of the track where you really have to be in a rhythm. If you're not in a rhythm through there, you lose so much time.
It's like he's in the green as well. Let's see what Hansen can get in his number 44 Porsche. Not as green as I thought. 49.803. It was green compared to his previous lap, but not to his best. So he will stay 14th quick for now. Even DJ Alessandrini's getting some laps in here. We don't have Yiling Wang around this week, but Morgan Burkhardt has been hot on DJ's heels, and he's got Ken House-Seal as well. Should DJ make a mistake, he's got some drivers that will be right behind him ready to pounce. Think back to Motorsport, Connor. It wasn't that long ago that DJ lost a race in the final moments.
Yeah, it was an impressive finish, crazy finish as well. So this one's going to be nowhere near over. Sandrini, that fourth lap counted. He just wasn't faster, as you could see, bottom of the screen, about 4/10 off. So it's going to be a little bit closer, I think, than what we saw at Lime Rock, where he won by maybe 30 seconds. I think he won by half the length of the track or something like that. So he's got a battle on his hands. This is the biggest field of the season, I believe. So he's going to have a great start before they get to the S's. Whoever gets out of there is going to be in a great spot for the first few laps.
Frans Hansen still works his way around on his fourth and final qualifying lap. You mentioned the big field. All season long, we've had a very even split between the touring cars and the Porsche 992 Cup cars, almost shockingly even, especially considering how different these cars are. Tonight, 19 Porsche 992s and 16 touring cars. That's an exceptional field 9 rounds into a points-paying season. It's been a couple of months since we started this championship, so really good retention this season. And it has been, we were talking right before we went live about how awesome this season has been. Frustrating at times for the drivers, but probably one of the most thrilling to watch in a long time here in the DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. So all very exciting things. Here comes Hansen across the stripe. He's the last driver that could put in a lap. And let's see what that'll land him. This time it is a 48.5. That is going to be slower than he had gone. So he will stay P14.
I see, Will. You'll be a little further down the order. A bit stark difference from last week at Lime Rock, where the track position really mattered. He had a great qualifying run. He was in the podium position really all race long. So a little bit of a different battle on his hands this time. It might be this track might be twice the size of Lime Rock. It's probably more than that, especially. So he's going to have a much bigger battle on his hands.
This track's long history starts way back in the 1950s, but it was closed for many decades and only reconstructed and brought back to life in the 1990s. And since then, it has been one of America's homes for road racing. Not closed from 1974 until 2000. You see it there, of course, that famous oak tree for which that turn 12 was named fell in 2013. The track's never really quite been the same since. But it does still have that characteristic flow that it has always had. Time to head down to the grid here as the cars get set up to make their pace lap around. And it's a long pace lap here, 3.27 miles of pace lap. All double filed under the flag stand there. Barney's perched that flag pretty precariously there on the edge. And earlier in the year when we were at Circuit of the Americas, the SRO flagman, Tom Hansing, yelled at our very own DJ Clark because DJ always announced the green flag as Tom dropping the green flag. He said, "I never dropped the flag." Well, Tom couldn't make the trip to VIR this year. He had a backup flagman fill in for him, and he did drop the green flag from the flag stand. Not intentionally. It fell off of this flag stand and dropped onto the ground. They were able to retrieve it, but pretty precarious spot he's got that hanging there.
Yeah, one flick of the left wrist and it's going flying.
And again, the track temp and air temp, 67 and 78, so very cool. That's going to be grippy temperatures, which should help these drivers tonight maintain control, especially when this place can get pretty greasy and hot in the summer in particular. I think it's about time to roll through our starting lineup. It's going to be a deep one tonight, 35 cars. And it all starts with DJ Alessandrini, the number 61 Lizard Brains Porsche. He starts on the front row right alongside Morgan Burkhardt in the number 2 Connor.
And then Ken Ausiel, he switches classes at the Porsche class. He's in the Apple Computer Porsche. He starts 3rd. Ryan Maloney, good qualifying run for him. He starts 4th.
And in 5th place is Jack Chrissy in the number 22. Jake King rolls off 6th in the number 39.
Beacon of consistency, Tyler Sadiq. It seems like he always qualifies 7th. As well, start this week as well. 8th place will be Darian Taggart.
And in 9th place, it's John Schwartz in the number 28. Thomas Twomey starts 10th in the number 10 car. Fitting start.
And then, very fitting start. Then 11th place, Richard Sawicki, who had a great run a week or 2 ago. He starts 11th. 12th place is going to be Ed Harris.
And then behind them, it's Kevin Zhu in the number 13 car. He's had a busy week at work. Or number 4 car, rather, starting 13th. Frans Hansen, 14th in the number 44.
You can see the TCRs rolling up as well. We'll get to them. 15th place, Jonathan Crane. He'll be alongside Deacon Greenfield, who has a ways to go to get back to the front.
And the last row of the qualifying Porsches, Jay Robinson in 17th in the 321. Don Manning, 18th in the number 92. Starting off the front row in the touring car category, Murphy Nichols in the number 5. Sean Fritz, a strong effort there in the number 6 car, Connor.
We'll see if Murphy can get that win for this season. Right behind him is going to be Trent McMillan, who's been fast in his Honda Civic all season. He starts 3rd. Giancarlo Schooler will start 4th.
And in 5th place, it's Colin Daner in the number 9. Zachary Zamoyda, 6th place in the number 25 machine.
7th place Ryan
Oh,
Carlisle.
trouble.
Oh,
There's
we
a
got
crash. Adam Kovac spun around.
Oh.
Hold the phone on this. We got to find out what happened here while we were reading the grid. Wonder if he got hit from behind.
That's Nathan Brackman.
Wow.
My goodness. Brackman's front end's pretty totaled.
Yeah, that's he's got that significant damage. Well, Adam Kovac would have started 10th. I think he still will, despite the damage. Callan Crocker, Lex Kirchek, 11th and 12th. Then Brackman and Stern, David Castellina, and Eric Bueno in that 666. He is a Porsche.
Yeah.
Did not take the grid. Khalil Naturbov didn't either.
First pre-race jump scare I might have ever gotten. Like, that actually scared me. I was not expecting that. All of a sudden, they're wrecking.
You know, it's amazing how many times, even in the real world, I've seen issues on pace laps with the field gridding up and getting ready to go racing. The jitters are there. It's a 30-minute race at a very fast racetrack with very fast cars, and some drivers already starting with some damage. I'm sure that'll get looked at, but it's easy to kind of, especially in that area of the racetrack, Connor, it's pretty slow, and it's right before the track kind of stretches out. So it's fairly easy just to kind of forget where you are for a second and make a mistake that will cost you and a competitor some time on the racetrack.
Yeah, that also could have been cold tires too. We get all of this huge lap to warm them up, and that was very early in the lap. So I think that was a combo of cold tires, and I don't think Nathan Brackman thought he would have to slow up so much for that corner. Like you said, they'll definitely get looked at as we got the back end of the TCRs there, but his front end's pretty crunched up. He'll be third to last in this field. Kovac's rear end, a little dent, but I think he'll be able to do just fine as we get to the Porsche class. They're coming into roller coaster right now. Alessandrini, it's a big start for him. Do not want to be caught in traffic here.
This is a really challenging place to start a race because the start stand is a long ways away from the horseshoe at turn 1. And the run into it isn't perfectly straight. It's a double apex right-hander to start the lap, and then it kinks back to 2 lefts before another right. So there's lots of opportunity to get crossed over and drop spots in the opening moments of this race. So it is a challenging place to start, and it's a long time from when the pace car pulls off to when you get that green flag as well. Murphy Nichols in the touring car category leaving a bit of a gap behind as the Porsches get the green flag. We're racing in the DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. The last round of the season is underway. Look at Jack Chrissy up the middle in that 22. He's going to be late on the brakes. Lock up from Hausiel into turn 1. He gets it woe down, but Chrissy crosses over from 5th to 2nd if he can make this pass stick.
I think everyone missed the corner because DJ didn't even make the corner that well. Hausiel's going to go runner-up position. It's going to be King and Chrissy side by side for the lead. Meanwhile, the TCRs are away, and it looks like Murphy Nichols got a great start to keep the lead there. It's going to be Fritz and McMillian in the turn number 1 for that second position, the 2 teammates, but Giancarlo Schooler's going to mix it up with them.
Yeah, don't get crossed up here in the opening couple of corners here. Watch that Hyundai, the dark blue and white. So that's Zamoida. No, that's the car ahead of him, the 9 of Colin Daner. So they've made it through the first couple corners. All right, side by side through the S's, Jake King and Jack Chrissy. You can't do that. They somehow managed to single it out before getting collected.
Yeah, King tried to make that move, driver's right. Just no room for that. He had to be the one to lift, or else that was going to be a high-speed crash. One of the Porsches wide in that section. That was at Harris, but he keeps it straight. And we still got to sort out this and not go double file through here, especially with some wider cars. I don't think there's any potential for too wide here this time.
Yeah, all the TCRs, they're not going to have a rear tire temp yet, so they're going to be a little slidier through here. Whoa, big moment there. Whoa, even Montello. Wow, hanging the rear tires off the dirt. Here comes Morgan Burkhardt, lock up into roller coaster. He might lose a spot here to Jack Chrissy as he tries to gather up the understeer.
Yeah, he locked up. I'm not sure how he didn't completely pile drive Hausiel, but a very good save as Hausiel clear for second now. Burkhardt lost that spot. And all the Porsches for now are clear through, and now we got to wait for the TCRs, who are a little bit more spread out at the front between the top 5.
Well, Alessandrini doing what he needs to do best, get away 1 second clear of Ken Hausiel, but Ken's going to put the pressure on him, I'm sure. So the Porsches are... Well, here he comes to the inside of Jack Chrissy, trying to muscle his way by. Remember, he locked up into roller coaster.
Yeah, and his tires are not going to be, or they're going to be hurting pretty badly after a lockup like that, even early on. that will not help as Chrissy's just going to get the better exit. Burkhardt a little sideways there, had to catch it. Will have to lay back in line and probably wait until Oak Tree to make a move. Tries to get a better run out, but there's just nowhere to go yet.
Colin Daner passing Sean Fritz. He's a little slow on the front straightaway. That was Ryan Carlisle, by the way, that had one of those big slides up over South Bend at the top of the hill, and
that was
Daner's a little wide here.
Yeah, Fritz was actually second as they banged doors, Daner and Carlisle. But Fritz was second. The final corner, he actually went off the track and lost a lot of time. He was right on Murphy Nichols, but now Murphy Nichols with about a 2-second lead after that.
Yeah, and Murphy's off to a fantastic start in that Veloster. Remember how good of a run he had at Mosport a couple of weeks ago. A little sideways here. Richard Sawicki goes for a spin at Oak Tree.
He'll have at least no Oak Tree, so he'll have room to get back going straight on from here. Jonathan Crane's wide behind him. No damage done, just a little too deep here.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than just a little.
Yeah, and it's hard to come back because there's no ABS in these cars. So once you make a mistake, you kind of have to sit on it. Here's Jack Chrissy and Burkhardt again. Same pass, same place for Chrissy. Packed by Morgan Burkhardt here as Jake King sizes up that number 2, the blue and black car.
Yeah, Burkhardt, that was him trying to attempt that pass.
Murphy Nichols out of the lead in TCR. He's now scored second. Callan Crocker, no, he had cut the track. That's why that happened. Because he came, wow, look at this ride.
Oh, what the?
Right here, gets loose at South Bend. I thought Murphy had dropped out of the lead, but it was just because Callan went all the way across the infield, up and airborne, and rejoined the racetrack as the leader. Obviously, he's going to get a penalty for that, not that he chose to go that route.
Burkhardt and Chrissy once again for third, and this time Burkhardt's going to make it stick. Yep, he does. Good pass there through NASCAR Bend. That was wild.
Yeah, Jake King's got a pretty good run here through Snake, but what do you do? Where do you go? You can't really get side by side here, so you have to be a bit patient and set this up for the exit of Oak Tree. Let's ride on board here through the Climbing S's, one of the most spectacular sections in all of North American road racing. You see the front end lift on that Porsche. You don't have any downforce on the car coming up over that curb. It just gets light and you have to wait for it to set back down. The engine's in the rear, so all the weight comes off the nose through that section.
And it's incredible that they're able to hold on to it and just stay throttled up. They welcome the wheelies as Tyler Sadiq's going to battle here in the back for about 10th position. That's Darian Taggart who gets back by him. But yeah, we saw it last week too over the Lime Rock jump. It's just incredible how much commitment you have to have in these Porsches to keep the throttle up and not lose position. It's incredible.
Here's Ryan Carlisle, Zach Zamoyda in the Oreo car. This is pretty tough and tumble here. 7th place between these two.
Not too tough, no contact yet, but I think we're about to see some crumbles of Oreo in a little bit, get all over the track. There's also a Ritz banner, so maybe a little combo as he comes all over that curb, even puts almost 4 tires over it. Even in the grass, you're going to use a little bit because you can get away with some grass and not get a slowdown like he does there as a pass even further ahead of these guys.
Oh, look out for second. This is Schooler and McMillian. They spin on corner exit.
Somehow saved it. They didn't fully spin, but look at the downforce, not the downforce, but the ground they're going to lose. Sean Fritz is going to have a run back at both of them. He'll get by teammate McMillian. He actually might not get the Giancarlo Schooler.
Look at the mess of the touring car field on the back straightaway. Everybody's scattered everywhere. Kevin Zoo's around. This is, I think, at Oak Tree?
Deacon Greenfield as well. No, this is turn 1.
Turn 1. I wonder if they had a coming together. Whoops. Zoo was off earlier. Greenfield looped it on his own.
I don't think Zoo hit anything. There's no walls really near him, so I think he might have gotten away with one because he went so far off. And
smoke. Franz Hansen. Round it, left hook.
That is a dangerous spot to be spun around as well, as that looked to be all on his own.
I think he spun around trying to get back rolling again. And for those with the keen eyes, this track looks a little different than the last time we were here. iRacing's new 3D grass has been implemented at this track as of a couple of days ago, and really like the look of it. Makes everything just very subtly look that much more realistic. PJ Alessandrini out front, 1.4 ahead of Ken House-Seal. He's put a little bit of distance on Ken, but not a lot. Last time Ken lost 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, House-Seal, he really got that lead on lap 1, but House-Seal's kind of been somewhat even with him. I think Alessandrini's still faster But I think this is a track that you're going to see the most slipstream utilized because you really have 2 to 3 straightaways, not fully complete straightaways, but places on the track where you're going to completely straight line it basically, and you're going to have a lot of draft to work with. So it's keeping Alceel closer than I think what he would be at this point in the race.
And for 9th place, Darian Taggart, Tala Sadiq. It's Tala pulling off to the left here. Taggart in the tag car on the inside. And he should be able to protect this, but Tala's way later on the brakes into the first corner. Wow. He hasn't cleared, but runs out a bit wide.
Ooh, Taggart slid the tires, though, trying to stay under him, and I think Sadiq's going to have him clear. Whoa, another slide by Tala Sadiq, but he's going to completely protect the inside line and complete that pass.
Oh, look at the run Taggart got. He turned out of the apex a bit early, but he's going to let Tala have that one.
That's another, you can't, if you don't complete the pass in that corner, it's going to be tough to get out to the snake section side by side. That will not work.
And Morgan Burkhardt has just made a mistake. Lost the spot here to Jake King. Here's what happened. And to Chrissy. Oh, he had a slowdown.
Oh, yeah.
Cutting the course a bit too much there in the snake section. And drops
pretty easy to
spots.
do.
Yeah, it is. You can get really aggressive on those curbs. They're pretty flat, but it hurts you a lot more than it helps you.
Got Chrissy went off. He's going to lose a spot to Jake King, who's climbing through the field early on here. Burkhardt is going to try to follow him through. Chrissy's going to get slipstream from Jake King. I don't think it's going to help before Burkhardt has overlap, and he might get the Jake King anyways.
Breaking on the inside here. Oh, he's going to get a turn. He's going to end up on the tire wall.
Hit.
Oh, man, that's a huge impact for Morgan Burkhardt. That will likely be race over. That is one of the worst places to go off at VIR. He found it.
Yeah, that right front's broke. That is race over. And
wow.
That's a tough one to swallow. It's really a lot of unforced mistakes early on.
Yeah.
Let's see whose this was on, though, but it was tight.
Right there. He gets it kind of just, he and Chrissy get together. That tire wall is just designed to catch you, but watch as they come into the corner here. Morgan's going to turn left and just kind of uses a bit too much racetrack there, I think, and comes across into the nose of the 22, and you see the damage that 2-car absolutely destroyed. It's a helpless feeling here because you see that tire wall coming. There's not much you can do to miss it. Right here. You know you're going to hit that. You know it the second you go sideways. Oh. And the change of direction there is just violent.
Yeah, Christie was the fortunate one in that he got spun to driver's left and off track into the grass and was able to save his car from big damage. But yeah, I think he wanted to pinch Christie a little bit too much and paid the price for it.
Would you believe that we're only 10 minutes into a 30-minute race? Somehow, some way, this is the battle for second. Sean Fritz and Colin Daner. This is all happening 7 seconds behind Murphy Nichols, who just continues to run the quickest laps of anybody in class.
Murphy Nichols is feeling like DJ Alessandrini right now. I would not be surprised if he said that in his interview. If he does hold on, there's some crazier things happened this season, but a really, really big lead, and Fritz has not really been gaining. He did have the issue on lap 1 where he went off and lost a bunch of spots, so we'll see what his pace is if he could keep the second position, keep clean air, but it's a long way up to the driver ahead.
Ryan Carwile launching another assault here on Zach Zamoyda. The Elantra has been the popular car of choice this season, but we have seen the Honda do pretty well. This is the first race, though, I think I've seen the Veloster just have, I mean, obviously it's got a really good driver behind the wheel, but it's a sample size of 1, but it's got the power this week to lead this race and by quite a bit.
Running away big time. It helped he was not pressured lap 1. He got such a good jump. He did not have to do any defending into turn number 1, so he was able to just run his line while they battled hard for second. That's where he really got away, got out of slipstream range as well, and is just going to set sights on just locking up this race win as Sawicki comes into turn number 1, Jay Robinson, and him battling for 10th, and not too far behind is Jonathan Crane.
Just keeping my eye on Alessandrini here. I was just looking at where we are as far as lap traffic, and looks like David Castellina is about 1:38 behind Alessandrini. Got a battle for third in the touring cars, McMillian versus Daner. McMillian in that legit racing car. And I think DJ is about 6 or 7 seconds away from encroaching on traffic. This could mix things up here. How about this, though? This very tight battle for third in class.
Man.
3 wide.
Let's not go 3 wide. This is going to not work. Someone's got to give.
Nobody will. Into roller coaster. Daner backs out.
Oh, no. They're going to crash. Schooler's off again.
Off into the grass and gravel. Away he goes.
Oh, man. That actually ended better than I thought it would.
No one ended up in the tire bundles this time, but again, this is the opposite problem, tracking too much to the right. He almost hit that wall.
He might have went through that type barrier. That was incredibly close on that left front, as we got another battle with Dagger, and I believe this is Maloney.
Yes, this is for 8th place. When I was here back in June for SRO, on driver's left at Roller Coaster, there was a Supra that ended up in the tire barriers that the driver was out for several races. Beyond that, I've never seen a GT4 car as destroyed in the side as it was when it went off in Roller Coaster. It is such a massive area to have an accident. Even in the sim world, that tire bundle doesn't even move like it does in the real world to absorb energy, so you hit it, that's day over. Taggart and Maloney still fighting for 8th place here, just a couple seconds behind Sadiq.
Yeah, Taggart was waving the windshield wiper as he almost gives a tap to Maloney there. No harm, no foul, and holding someone up. It's hard to pass here as it is. You got to try to defend best you can. Maloney's done well. Ooh. Also catching Sadiq. He's going to go wide here, though.
Yeah, Maloney.
Door for Taggart.
Maloney went wide for sure. Jonathan Crane has lost the spot. He made a mistake in the number 8. But going back to Taggart and Maloney, I don't think this one's quite done yet.
Most likely not, but this is just a point where you kind of hate how the track is shaped. If you're Darian Taggart, you got to wait. You can't do anything here. The best thing you can do is lay close to their bumper, maybe try to force them into a stake, but you can't forget where the corners are. When you're tucked up behind someone, very easy to lose track of this, the track and the corners and everything. So the best you can do is just kind of force them into a mistake, but it wasn't close enough to do so. Looks to the inside, no room.
And a battle for 3rd is also getting really hot just ahead of him. Here's Thomas Twomey in the number 10 to the inside here at Jake King. This is for a podium spot side by side at north of 160 miles an hour.
And Twomey 10th to almost 3rd here. He's exceptionally fast right now, and he's going to complete that pass. I don't think Jake King really wanted to go side by side through there, but he's 10th to 3rd now. Incredible drive so far, as it looked like Taggart locked up there, but Maloney keeps the spot.
Back to 3rd in touring car, Colin Daner and McMillian. They've gone back and forth a couple of times. Daner in line here with McMillian into this horseshoe curve, this first corner. About halfway through this race. And we still have not really seen the bulk of the traffic yet. DJ has lost, by the way, over a second and a half, and here's the thickest of the traffic.
Yeah, this is where if Ken Alessio wants a shot at the win, he's going to have to take advantage through traffic. I think Alessandrini in clean air is faster. He was pulling away, but if he catches traffic at the wrong time, if Alessio's close enough, he would definitely have to bounce.
This is where it's hard, because you can't just steamroll by everybody here in the S's. He's going to have to sneak by Carlisle, and he's going to have to sit on a couple cars here.
Oh, he got turned. Halseal's turned through the grass.
Oh, big slide for Halseal. He keeps it rolling.
Oh, my goodness.
And behind the corner station, rejoins the racetrack. This is the danger of multi-class at VIR. Have a look.
Oh, he should be fortunate to still be in this race. Just tries to skirt past, who was that?
That was
the Oreo car. That was Zamoyda.
Yeah. And this is...
Yeah,
this is the classic,
really...
trying to beat someone to the apex here. He's going to turn across the nose of the Audi.
Yeah.
And I've done that a million times. Yeah.
How fortunate he didn't hit that post or the porta potty. You don't want to hit that at all, but he's somehow still in second after that. But the hunt for Alessandrini is definitely over for the time being. 7 seconds back. Twomey might have a shot at him here, depending on how those tires look.
Yeah, again, he's going to have to, DJ will have to catch really thick traffic and have a situation like that to lose this race. Now he's got time to kill. Ken had to be aggressive there because that was his opportunity to make up a lot of time, but he just needed to leave a little bit more margin there. You can't expect the TCR cars to lift for you, right? We went into the S's watching DJ because I was expecting DJ to take some chances there, but he sat on a pass. Ken tried to make one, and Ken paid the price.
Yeah, Ken was just a little too impatient, didn't give enough room. Like you said, he did try to beat him to that apex, and it just cost him. Zamoyda was almost completely off the track by the time Alessio made contact with him. He tried his best to give Alessio room. It was just that pass was never going to happen.
Well,
and Alessio,
the hard thing is he had the pass complete. He just needed to leave more space, and he didn't. Well, here's DJ. Hello, right past the battle for fourth between Daner and Carlisle.
There's Alessio, but yeah, just a split-second decision. That's all it takes sometimes, as He's going to lose all that time, but he might keep second. We'll have to wait and see. He's by Carwell and Daner. They continue to battle. That battle for second might heat up if Twomey can get there, but he's still got Jake King to deal with. This is going to get tight. Watch this closing rate. There is none because they already closed up.
Very tight. Twomey and King. This is going to get interesting here down through Oak Tree. Does King have time to sit on it? He doesn't because Schwartz is right here as well. Look at them all heading into Oak Tree in a big pack. This sometimes doesn't turn out well.
A great corner for Twomey. He's going to take a pretty big lead, and look at Carwell. He's just giving them the space and almost lifting for them. That he's going to get that gap to keep third. Jake King's going to have to play catch up again, and Schwartz, Christie, and Tyler Sadiq are all on the line.
Yeah, Sadiq's got Ryan Maloney right behind him with a big run coming for the 15. Nice patient runs here in the braking zone for this pack. One car popped out of line. That's the 28 of Schwartz. And look how tight it got behind Chrissy and Sadiq.
Maloney and Daner made contact. It just all stacks up in that corner if you're not careful, but no crashes this time. Another group comes through this corner. That's Twomey again, just trying to hold on. This is Maloney. Look out, almost a little bit of a bump and run action in the final corner. We've seen that before. Maloney's got to run.
I don't think, here comes Maloney here for 7th. I don't think the run down through from roller coaster to hog pen is quite as bad as it would be in an IMSA category, for example, because the TCR cars actually have spin for Sadiq. He's going to go around right in the center of the racetrack. But as I was saying, they don't have much more downforce, if more at all, than the TCR cars, which that's kind of a downforce section. So while they're going to have a massive advantage on the first half of the racetrack, the run down from really 15 down to 17, the TCRs can kind of keep pace.
Yeah, that's what makes it especially tough when they can keep pace in those corners where you'd think it would be a passing zone, and then they're perfect under the brakes, and you're not going to get by them. So you have to be almost alongside them and have the advantage over them, overlap over them, to make sure you're going to make that pass work. Or else they just won't let you by, and you're just going to be held up another corner, maybe an extra corner after that, and it could be exceptionally frustrating.
There we go again, another one of those gut moments when you have to decide if you're going by the TCR or not. This is Jay Robinson and Kevin Zhu. Robinson ahead on board with Zhu. Nice livery on this 321. Zhu had to jump on the brakes quickly because Jay didn't commit.
And Karachek had to really check up because of it as well. I think Robinson got a little bit shoved off by Mantello on entry almost there.
Look at this for third. McMillian and Daner. Porsches every which way. Carwile giving a shove to one lane, then switching to the other.
We're not going to see 3 wide this time, but it doesn't mean we're going to get through here cleanly. McMillian, Daner. Big squeeze by Daner, but can't squeeze enough. McMillian's going to keep that spot, but he's going to keep Carwell and run Carwell wide, as Moida's going to stay in this battle as well. 4 cars under a blanket.
Oh, watch the run there that the Hyundai got. Maloney hits pit lane. That might be incident violation, penalty of some sort that he's having to serve with 10 minutes to go.
I certainly hope it's 14X, so you sure hope that it's not a fuel issue. We've seen that in races past as Kevin Zhu's going to the outside of Jay Robinson in the background, as you can see that battle on the screen.
Yeah, I don't think 14X is all that hard to get here. In a multi-class environment, you can go off track a number of places. It's not like the Nürburgring or something where if you go off, you're going to crash, right? You can get off tracks everywhere because the track edges are so close. All the paved runoff is fair to use here. It's not like that will cost you, but there's just so much grass. Here's Jake King and Twomey back at it for third.
Yeah, I thought Twomey would kind of pull away here.
Jake King, wow, using every inch of the road.
He's pushing it. I thought he was going to pull away, but through traffic, Jake King stood strong, and he's going to not let this battle go. And he might have a run down this straightaway, but he's got to be careful where he tries to make this pass. John Schwartz and Jack Christie have also kept pace. It's a 4-car battle for a podium spot.
Yeah, so there's 10 out front, and then it's Schwartz and Christie in the background. Schwartz in that blue car.
Michigan.
10 gets it woed down. He's done a nice job tonight. No challenge for the lead. Ken's matching DJ's pace, but 10.7 back. As far as the TCR category, lonely time out front for Murphy Nichols, but I don't think he'll be complaining in 8 minutes and 19 seconds.
No, he's just continued to pull away. I thought Sean Fritz might match, but not the case. He's almost up to a 13-second lead at this point in the race. And
look at his pace.
No competition. Yeah.
Last lap, a 57.4. to a 57.4. That was an off-track lap for him. Here comes King through Horseshoe here, trying to find some overlap on the number 10, but he has not done so.
So tough to make that happen. You just got to try everything in the book. Too far back at this point. You're going to have to start to challenge him at every corner you can possibly challenge him in. With only about 7.5 minutes to go, it's really only going to give you, what, 3 laps, 4 laps possibly? So you got to find something.
Ed Harris passed Zoo for 10th. And one of the, that's Sean Fritz in the 6th. One of the TCRs got kind of wrapped up in that. Kiricek and Montello down at turn 1. How about this battle between these two? Honda versus Honda.
It was incredibly tight as well, but no contact. That's the Alpine. Oh, a little bit of a hip check by Kiricek. He's trying to make this pass, and I don't think he appreciated that. No, he didn't.
It ended up hurting Montello more than it hurt Kiricek. Oh, that's a big, that's race-ending damage there, unfortunately.
That is what we call seeing red.
How about this lineup, though? 4 cars battling for 3rd place with 6.5 minutes to go.
And there's like no pace difference either. I think they're all running essentially the same lap.
Holy cow. I thought he was going to send it up the outside here, but it's just such a hard line to make. You're coming up over a crest, so your braking force initially is very strong because you've got the gravity assist, but as you come over that crest, you're slowing down, you don't have the downforce, and the gravity pulls away from you. So it's a really challenging corner to get slowed all the way down to your minimum corner speed. And Jake looked like he was about to have the ultimate send.
Yeah, not quite yet. I think he's testing the waters with it for sure, but I don't think he'll try that until the very final lap, until all bets are off. He will dive to the inside turn 1, and he has the line. He slides and he door slams Twomey out of the way and spins him, and King's just going to let those top 2 by. He might just even let Twomey by here.
I think he's got the guilty conscience on that one, and it's hard to fault him for that. From a long ways back here, and I just slipped. It was just the slightest slip there, Connor, but the guilty conscience got the better of him there.
Yeah, that's all it took. I won't say seeing red. This car is red, as we got another battle in the background. Jonathan Crane and I believe Maloney trying to recover there, as well as Trenton McMillian is in a battle for 3rd. That is with Daner.
These two have not let go of each other since the drop of the green flag here.
Looks like Daner's going to lose out for now. He's trying to find any lane possible, but McMillian, when he gets the run down the front straightaway, when Daner gets that run, McMillian is not letting him go driver's right. It is very hard to get enough of a run to go around the outside of turn number 1, and he is making sure to shut that down.
McMillian took a much wider arc through NASCAR bend, and Daner shot straight for the apex.
Jonathan Crane off, not too far up ahead of these guys with some front-end damage.
3rd place in the Porsches. Chrissy and Schwartz. This will be side-by-side off into roller coaster. Look at the speed, 164 miles an hour onto the brakes. Little wiggle there from the 28, but I think Chrissy's going to have this one.
Yeah, these two are in the back seat of that 3rd place battle.
Slip.
Oh, Chrissy.
Great save there. That could have been a written-off car coming down the hill, but managed to gather it back up. He'll lose the spot and have to fight it back all over again.
Yeah, heads up by Schwartz. Carwile and Daner side by side through Oak Tree. This is going to get pretty tight. Daner might shove him wide, but he doesn't, and Carwile gets to run off, and Zamoyda might have a run on him as well.
Yeah, it's hard to build a run in these touring cars unless you got this long straightaway to assist. You see the draft now. Big run here on Daner. Daner's going to stay driver's right. Zamoyda's going to go left. He should draft right by. But now, can he clear him and have the preferred line into roller coaster? I don't think so. Daner's going to be able to outbrake him here.
Oh, they're going to bang doors again, though. Zamoyda, that driver's left part of the track. There's just no grip out there. No one's making it work in any class. Daner keeps it, which was smart on his part to stay in Carwell's slipstream. Not that he had a choice. Now he's got to chase him back down again.
And Harris turned around at turn 1. He came from a long ways back, I think. There's Kevin Zhu ahead of him. Look at how late he just missed his braking point by a mile and drove in there and got Kevin Zhu in the rear bumper. And then Maloney
didn't crash.
Right prior to this, Maloney came back down pit lane. Not sure what for, but he called it a night.
Yeah, he called it a night. I'm not sure if he had another off track. He was back in the battle for around 14th. Had gotten by Jay Robinson and decided to call it there.
10's back fighting Darian Taggart for 5th place. And a lot of the battles have begun to fizzle. Out front, though, DJ Alessandrini continues to control this race. You just have to wonder if Ken hadn't kind of clipped himself on that Audi heading up the hill. Would things look different? I feel like they would. With all pressure from both sides. We saw that at Mosport. The pressure to pass makes even the best make mistakes. And DJ was able just to kind of put on the cruise control after that moment with a 7+ second lead.
I'd say it would be different considering how Seal's still even with Alessandrini. Even after completely killing the tire, is doing a 360, might have even been a 720 in the grass. He's clearly still fast enough to match Alessandrini's time, so I think it could have definitely been different if they were both going through traffic cleanly and having that pressure to pass you were talking about. Would have been completely different, but I think Seal should at least be thanking the racing gods that he's still in second place.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take a second after a moment like that. That was, again, going back to earlier, that was probably about the biggest issue you can have at VIR and not wad up your virtual Porsche right here. And he missed. This was actually a really major crash if you go back a couple of years. I think it was an ALMS race or maybe an IMSA race where a car climbed up on top of that flag stand there. He managed to go on the back side of it and rejoin the racetrack.
There's not many times you can almost hit a porta potty and get a second place finish, so I think he'll cherish this 100% if he can hold on for the next 2 minutes. Like, he might even be close to a white flag this time by. Alessandrini's up that final straightaway. Oh, a little wide there for Maloney.
Yeah, it's going to be whoa, and Kwame 2, and then number 10 goes for a little bit of a slide there at South Bend. DJ heads into roller coaster for the penultimate time.
That was a incorrect name. I misnamed someone. That was Kwame, sorry.
David Stern and Lex Kiricek. This is for 8th in touring car.
Sawicki and Sadiq are battling hard too. Sawicki just had a big off to give Tyler Sadiq this run.
And there's the white flag one more time around for DJ Alessandrini at the front of this field. Franz Hansen and Deacon Greenfield side by side through South Bend. And Sadiq and Sawicki, as you mentioned, off into roller coaster.
But Sadiq, they're going to make contact. A bit of a hip check there. Sawicki's going to keep that spot. Sadiq's going to try to throttle back up to his inside, but nowhere to go. And Sawicki's going to pull away a little bit here onto his straightaway.
And back for 3rd, as it has been all night long in touring car. This time it's Carwile on the offensive here on Trent McMillian. And he's got a long straightaway to get it done. That slipstream is going to assist. That Honda is a bit of a brick in the air compared to the Hyundai. Let's see how it does.
Going to assist enough is the question. We've got a good view on how much it helps. It is such a slight gain as they'll have a full lap left after this. He will maybe have a look, but he's going to have to really send it here if he wants to really make this pass work. No one's been able to do it.
Here he goes, up the outside, and later on the brakes.
Wow.
Rotor's glowing, he's through. Carwile to 3rd place. Darian Taggart spun in Snake.
Huh.
This was battling the 10 of Twami. Let's see. Ooh, I think Twami might have turned in on him there just slightly. Have to look from high above.
He made a mistake. He did. So that's kind of what caused that to happen.
Yeah, I think Twami kind of turned in on him there a little bit, but it's going to cost Taggart a lot, and he'll drop down to 7th place. For a while, Alessandrini wrapping things up here at VIR. Made this one look easy, but this season was not, Connor. Race after race, Alessandrini fought tooth and nail. Fenders out, elbows out. Tonight, elbows in. Alessandrini wins at VIR, picks up a checkered flag in the last race of the season by 11 seconds over Ken Howe-Seal. While battles continue elsewhere on track, Murphy Nichols still works his way up through the S's. Battle still happening in class in touring car. McMillian's not done here for 3rd place.
No, not quite here. Carwile is so deep under brakes to make this pass work. It's going to be really tough for McMillian to match that and even do better than Carwile to get this spot back. So we'll see what he can do here. But this is so far behind Murphy Nichols, who's already halfway down the straightaway.
I think I like the Hyundai in this particular circumstance. I don't think the Honda's got the legs that the Hyundai does on the straights in particular. That's really where you need it. And didn't get the exit he needed out of Oak Tree either. Well, you mentioned Murphy Nichols. How about this? This is effectively a home race for the Murph Dog Hyundai Veloster N. And he has told us all season long this is the car to have. And he really likes this thing. He's the only driver in it. And tonight, it's the only driver that needed to be in it. Checkered flag for Murphy Nichols at VIR. You see the headlights flashing, the excitement under the virtual helmet, I'm sure is hard to be contained. Murphy Nichols wins at VIR.
That was incredible. He outdid Andreini with the gap, a much bigger gap, as he'll lead Sean Fritz, who comes across the line. McMillian tried in the final section. He will not get Carwile in time, and Daner and Zamoyda won't be close enough to battle either. Kirchek and Stern, top of the hill. They will battle for about 8th position, even coming through the roller coaster, but I don't think Stern will get there as the final TCRs come across the line.
Yeah, good battle here between these two all the way back to the stripe. And the season, the points-paying season, is complete here from Virginia International Raceway. And, of course, we will go racing one more time next week, but not for points. And all the stress is taken away. Here's a look at the race results. Unofficially, Alessandrini on top in the Porsches. And not only for the race, but for the season. Ken House-Seal locked up the TCR championship a couple of weeks ago, but wanted to continue fighting up at the front. Picked the Porsche tonight, comes home second in that. Schwartz, Chrissy, Twame, the rest of your top 5. Then King, Taggart, Sadiq Sawicki, and Kevin Zhu. Most of the drivers on this list had a slip or slide here or there, but managed to grab a top 10.
I feel like the theme of Tyler Sadiq's season is qualify 7th, spin out of it once or twice, still finish around 7th. So he completed that. Sawicki even came back from some issues to 9th. Kevin Zhu was way off. I don't know how he didn't crash, how far off he was in turn 1, but still came back for that top 10. As Harris, Robinson, Crane, Hansen, Franz Hansen had some issues, Deacon Greenfield as well, that put them well down the order in Porsche class, as they were the last ones on the same lap as Alessandrini.
And then in the TCR category, mentioned Murphy Nichols getting it done in the Hyundai Veloster, and Sean Fritz, how about the run he had tonight? Carwile, McMillian, and Daner make up the rest of your top 5 in the touring car category, Connor.
Yeah, right at the top of TCR, and then you see the drivers that battled hard all night long. We didn't even really talk about David Stern, but he came back to get 9th. Kobach had issues before we even dropped the green, and he still gets 10th. Zamoyda, one of his few races of the season, up to 6th. Then a few Porsche drivers who had a tough night. Ryan Maloney, don't really know what his issues were, but he was fast, but only ends up 16th in class. Crocker, Castellina, also Nathan Brackman as well. A few tough nights here for these drivers.
Yeah, not the way that they wanted to finish things out. There's the bottom of the list there, Sam Montello, with his incident leaving NASCAR Bend. But what a race, what a night here from VIR. And I'll tell you, this racetrack has never failed to put on a good show, especially with this car and track combination. Got a couple drivers with us, the first of which, John Schwartz, comes home 3rd in the Porsche 992 category. John, hard-fought battle there with Jack Chrissy and others in the late going. Take us through your night and the chaos that is VIR at high speed here in a multi-class environment.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I think this might be my first podium, like the whole season. I don't know, but if not, I haven't been haven't been keeping track. But yeah, I like only came in with like 20 minutes of practice, and I was looking at the times guys were putting in like low 47s, and I was stuck high 48s. And so I knew that from the start of the race, start of qualifying, that I just had to focus on consistency since I just didn't have the raw pace. So I worked in practice the whole time, just trying to manage tires and staying in draft, because the draft really was important here, but also getting the perfect timing when you caught those TCRs. Through those S's, it really killed momentum, so if you could just stay in touch with other guys, that made all the difference. So definitely a tough race starting from 9th and finding opportunities to pass, since everyone was really solid off that final corner, and that was really your best opportunity into turn 1. So yeah, I think it was a race of survival for me, and then Jack started catching up, and he was putting on the pressure, and we had an intense battle there for 3rd. It was like 3rd through 6th, but then that huge drama in turn 1 where some guys wrecked into each other, and they opened the door for us. So yeah, I thought Jack had it when he got me at the end of that back straight there, but then he overshot the exit, and I was able to cross him back over. So I was sweating, working real hard there, but definitely a real fun race. But yeah, I gotta give a shout out to DJ for absolute domination this one.
A lot of fun to watch, John. Thanks so much for talking to us. Congrats on a great finish at a great racetrack and a great car. Had to be a lot of fun. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, hope to see you guys next season.
Well, we'll see you there. And in second place, he is, where'd he go? He is second in the Porsches, but had the championship in the touring cars wrapped up, so he jumped on over to the flat 6-powered machine tonight. Ken, you were tracking DJ down, but got yourself caught up in a bit of a spin there. Kind of chop it across the nose there. Ended up sliding through the grass, somehow missed the corner station. Second in the race tonight, but TCR champion. What a season this was.
Yeah, heck of a season, and tonight was a heck of a lot of fun happening in the Porsche, and it seems like I about had the pace for DJ, and then it was completely my fault with chopping the nose of the TCR car. So that's on me. And then I'm sorry to whoever that was. I think it was Zach. And then yeah, really fun night. Great to wrap up the TCR championship, and had great battles all season.
Yeah, so much fun. And this combination of cars, let's talk about this for a second. I think it's been one of the most thrilling combinations to watch. At times, probably one of the most infuriating to race on track with, but I think this was a resounding success from an entertainment standpoint. A great combination.
Yeah, it's been super fun to watch the broadcasts, and there were definitely some infuriating moments, especially Road Atlanta, but it's been a really fun combo. Big speed disparity, and they break pretty much the same. So you got to make the time on the TCRs somewhere else.
Well, so much fun, Ken. Congratulations on that. Thanks for running it as well behind the scenes, and we'll see you around next week for the fun race.
Yeah, thanks. See you guys.
All right, let's move on to DJ Alessandrini. Gets it done both on the season and in the race in the Porsche 992 Cup category, DJ. Well, Ken was coming for you, but got caught up in traffic. It always makes you sweat navigating traffic here at VIR. Not a racetrack designed for multi-class chaos, but tonight you navigated it pretty well, and this track are just a blessed combination.
Yeah, it's a really great combo. Even the old Porsche Cup car on the old scan of VIR was like a fan favorite. Hats off to Ken. He's been driving the TCR all season. He's the champion in that thing. And gonna be honest, Kyle, I was a little nervous that he might just come in here and win this and make us all look like chumps. But I was glad that I was able to narrowly get the pole position so I could lead the start of the race.
Well, the lizard brain has lizard brained. You've got the championship and a handful of race wins here this season. But I was talking to Ken about the combination of Porsche Cup and TCR. And while at times it's been pretty infuriating, I'm sure, for the drivers, what a thrilling combination. They seem to brake and take corners at the same speed, but your difference comes in the straight line. And they're very different as far as their balance is concerned. So how much fun was it this season with this class combination? Certainly not as traditional as we've run in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it took a little while to figure out. It feels awful. Like the lizard brain's just screaming, Kyle, when you're sitting behind a TCR, just waiting to leave the corner. Because you are a little bit faster in the corners, enough where it, like, when your brain is saying, hey, you're under the limit of adhesion, and you're just like sitting behind a car, it's really hard not to just like hurry through the corner. But the exit in the Porsche Cup is everything. So just the patience to sit around and grind your teeth and wait to leave the corner makes all the difference in the traffic.
Well, fun to watch for sure, DJ. Congratulations on another successful season. And we're doing something fun next week. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm excited. We'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I'll probably be there as well.
We'll see you, DJ. Congrats.
Yep, thank you.
And third place in the touring car category was Ryan Carwile in the Hyundai Elantra N TCR. Ryan, a good fight there with Trent McMillan and Colin Daner and some others throughout this race, but you bring home the 71 car in third. Take us through your night navigating the Porsches and the other cars around you in that epic battle for third.
Yeah, I don't think I got the qualifying effort I was quite looking for, and then I just couldn't get going early on. Cold tires, and then I just kept missing my marks. But yeah, eventually once it got going, I was able to race with Colin, and I think he might have gotten a slowdown or something. And Trenton said he was running out of gas, so he kind of let me by. But it was still a lot of fun. I mean, these TCR cars, they take a little bit of contact pretty well.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty rough and tumble, and this season I think we saw some of the closest racing we've seen in quite some time. Reflect for me a little bit on the battles that you had in TCR this season. It seems like while these cars at times can be kind of frustrating to get through corners, they seem to race very close and very well.
Yeah, for sure. I think one reason they race so well is they make speed in a little bit different ways. So the Honda's a little more nimble. The Audi has a little more straight line speed. I think the Veloster is probably the best. It tends to be good on tires, so you come on strong at the end of the race.
Well, Ryan, third place tonight. Congratulations. Job well done, and we'll see you next week for the fun race.
Thank you.
Well, Sean Fritz comes home in second place in touring car in the number 6, the legitimate racing car. You had a couple teammates up there with you, Sean, and came home P2. Never really saw Murphy after the opening couple of laps, but fought the good fight, came home P2. Take us through your night.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Yeah, Murphy kind of just, like, after turn 1, he kind of just checked out and was gone. I don't know, and once he was gone, we had a nice little fight there for second, third, and fourth. Couple points of contact behind, but otherwise, it all worked out pretty well in the end. And watching the Porsches come by was definitely something as well.
Yeah, we talked with a couple of the other drivers about the challenges of running the Porsches and the TCRs together, but it seems like the TCRs race really well, especially on these fast tracks where you can use the draft to your advantage.
Yeah, the draft, I wasn't lucky enough to get any of Murphy's draft or the Porsches for very long, but I was watching the times behind me, and it was a little nerve-wracking there for a bit on the long straights.
Well, Sean, hey, nice race tonight. It was fun to watch the teammate cars battle up there at the front with everybody else. Congratulations on a solid podium finish, and hopefully we'll see you next week for the fun race, whatever it may be.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you next time.
Thank you. And Murphy Nichols brings it home, not only with a win, but a dominant win, Murphy. Holy cow. 16 and a half seconds over Sean Fritz. You just set sail, and that Veloster had some velocity tonight, taking it home, leading every lap in class. Congratulations. Take us through your night.
Yeah, it's definitely been a hell of a journey, that's for sure, with this car. Definitely had some high points and low points, but this track especially, I got it all to click. I had the setup exactly how I wanted it. I could take corners exactly how I wanted to, and especially with me, one of my buddies had convinced me to swap my load cell and my brake pedal, so that I think really helped make a difference too. I was able to get on the brakes better, be more consistent with it, and overall just have it feel more like a proper race car. So it may not have been the popular choice for the season, but it was definitely my choice, and I'm glad I finally made it work properly and was able to get it a win this season.
Yeah, how much testing did you do with this car versus other cars, and was there any particular characteristic that you felt suited you better than perhaps others who took the Elantra or the Honda or even the Audi over this car?
If you want my honest reason, it was because I could design the car the best out of any of the others, and I was like, yeah, and I knew going into it, I was like, the Veloster is a not half bad car, so I was like, okay, and I had tried out a couple of the other ones, and just the Veloster definitely felt the best to me. And with the design aspect, like I mentioned, I was like, yeah, I'll make this work.
I also think it's the coolest looking one out there. The Honda's got a place in my heart, but the Veloster is a cool looking car. Hey, Murphy, congratulations. Job well done tonight. That was just a dominant victory. Haven't seen anything like that in a while. So enjoy that one, and we saw the headlights flashing on the front straight. We knew you were celebrating.
Yeah, I was having a blast. Thank you guys so much for this.
Thank you, Murphy. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
All right, Connor. Wow. Great racing. Great season. And we're not quite done yet. We've got one more event next week. TBD on what that will be and what that will feel like. But I'm very excited. If it's anything like what we've had this season, it's going to be a lot of fun.
If it's anything like the Legends we had earlier in the season, our first fun event, it should be a blast. But it was incredibly fun tonight. There was a little bit of drama, but it wasn't really hard feeling drama. It was just hard racing drama, especially at the end of a straightaway in the roller coaster. Had some incidents here and there in both classes, but both classes, it might be the first time all season that both classes were dominated. We really haven't seen a single TCR driver completely run away with a race. We saw Sandrini do it last week. We saw him do it again, but Murphy Nichols, he never lost the lead. He led every single second of this race, and he deserved that win. Fun. I almost said fun little track, but it's not a little track. A very fun big track this place performs.
Yeah, a lot of fun. VIR, Porsches, TCRs. What more fun can you have in iRacing? Thanks so much for joining us this season. Of course, we'll have that next fun race up next week. And for those that have stuck around all the way to the end, hope you've enjoyed the first SCCA Virtual Racing League stream on my new dual PC setup. If you didn't notice anything, that's intentional, but it is a little smoother, a little better, and hopefully in 1440p next season. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time here. Kyle Heyer, Connor Horn on SimTV. See you next time.